status?
Title and everything, yes, but I have not done the tags. No.
Let me see. Let's see what we have here. All right. Let me see news.
No, you're doing that? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it real quick. Hey, let me remove this.
I see us on the screen.
Yep.
We are in vivo.
Estamos en vivo. Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, it's a little difficult with no down key.
You don't need a down
key. I don't have a mouse, so it's a pain in the ass to do this.
You have a trackpad.
Yeah, P, it's a pain. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's how I do it. It's just a pain in the butt. I am sharing it on Twitter.
What's up, Arctic? What's up, Gadget?
Good morning, everyone.
Quick audio mic check, please. Make sure everything is coming out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. I'm sharing it on Twitter so people could join us. Give me 1 second.
Okie dokie.
Almost
What's
done.
up, Kev?
Wait a minute.
What happened?
Oh, hold on. Let me refresh the page. Never mind. There it is.
We're good.
What, the stream wasn't working?
No, it's just the title wasn't updated, but I refreshed and it is.
Okay. Yep. Arctic gives the all clear for audio, so we're good.
All right. And sorry if you hear any kids in the background crying, it's because my nephews.
Give them your Switch. Watch them be quiet for the next hour.
No, not gonna happen. My Switch will be broken within a few minutes.
Do it for the podcast, Danny. Do it for the podcast.
No, I'm no.
What?
Give me 1 second.
Hosting
here.
Cypher again? Hold on a second, Danny. Let me hit refresh.
I see us. I'm looking at the page.
Okay.
Who said that it's not working?
No, it is. I'm on the page right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. All right, welcome to Gamer Tag Radio episode 843. This is your host, Danny, and joining me this week, host of the show. Let's start with Paris. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning, man. What's up with you, man?
It's Sunday morning. It's been a lot of games coming out here over the past couple of days, so I'm sure we're going to be talking about all of them.
Yeah. And also joining us is Pete. What's going on, Pete?
What's up? I can't stop playing Apex. I'm addicted. I think it may be time to just uninstall PUBG. It's happening.
Oh, wow.
It is official.
There's still people playing that game, right? It's still doing good.
I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't even track it anymore. I just I come home.
You used to a lot.
Oh no, I used to, yeah, for sure. But I think right now it is gone into the waste bin right now. I don't even look at it. It doesn't even come up as a thought. Like I could get bored and I'd rather go do something else.
Oh wow.
And I don't think that's more of an indictment on the game. I think just Apex just checks all the boxes right now for me.
All right.
As evidenced by the 8-hour stream last night.
All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback, and also you could find the podcast, different podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and other podcast directories. All right, like I said, make sure to share with your friends, and also if you get an opportunity, post a review, and it will help us out big time. All right. So we have a couple of topics here, man. Like Paris said earlier, there's a lot of games that just came out. I posted a review of Far Cry New Dawn. on the last episode. But I know there's a couple other extra games too that came out. Metro Exodus, Anthem, Crackdown 3, and I believe there's more coming up very, very soon. But for now, that we're going to talk about those 3 games. Let's start with Metro Exodus, because Paris is the only one that received a copy of this game. But I haven't had the opportunity. Have you played it, Pete, at all? Because I know
I have not.
You covered a couple of times. No? Okay.
No, I have not, but I am. It is on the list to pick up. I will be purchasing that out of my own personal pocket because that's a game that's actually worth it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Pete. Well, Pete already said that. Paris, can you tell us a little bit about your experience so far, hands-on, not a review, just hands-on impressions about the game?
Okay, number one, don't tell me what I want to say about the game. Maybe I want to review it right now. You don't know.
It's part of the topic, so continue.
Hey, it's Sunday. This is the Lord's Day.
Sunday spice.
I can make myself laugh on that one. Okay, so Metro Exodus. First and foremost, want to thank Deep Silver. They sent me over a PC review code late last week. Which the funny story behind that is the review code went to my spam folder, and it was like my spidey sense went off and go, you should check your spam folder. Sure enough, I go in there for no reason. Something's just like, check your spam folder. And I go in and check my spam folder, and I had the review code sitting in there for over 2 days. So I got a late start on it, unfortunately. But obviously I've got a chance to play it here over the past week or so. And like I said, it's PC version. First and foremost, the game is drop dead gorgeous. As soon as you make it into the open world, and I'm doing air quotes when I say open world of Metro Exodus, drop dead gorgeous. I'm playing on a 1080 Ti. I've been playing it at 4K, which isn't quite hitting 60 frames per second for me, fully maxed out. 1440p, I've been able to get it over 60 frames, no problem. But and I know Digital Foundry actually just did a video thing where they're doing the RTX, and they're basically deeming this the first game to truly take advantage of RTX. And, like I said, it is absolutely gorgeous. But the game itself, that's what people are here for. I'm loving it. If you've played the previous Metro games, you already know what I mean. Just the world that 4A Games has created, in the Metro verse. This is just a natural extension of it. It's no longer completely underground, being more of a corridor shooter. They've now taken us above ground into open spaces. And when I talk about it being open world, air quotes, it's really 3 big open spaces that you're allowed to explore, but the actual story itself is still very linear. It's still pushing you in a certain direction while you're in the game. The shooting on it, keyboard and mouse, is fine. I've gone back and forth, as I like to do on PC, between keyboard and mouse and controller to try and get a feel for both. If you're playing on PC, go keyboard and mouse, don't go controller. It feels very stiff playing it with a controller. So I'm actually curious to hear what people say that have been playing on Xbox and PlayStation 4. But like I said, overall, the shooting is pretty good. Again, it's more of a survival type horror game versus, I shouldn't say horror, that's a strong word, but it's more of a survival game than it is your typical first person shooter going guns blazing. You absolutely can do that when you're in the game, but you're going to run out of ammo pretty quick and you're going to die. I can tell you that right now. I've been playing it on the hard mode. I haven't played it on normal, and the difficulties felt about right to me. It's pretty good. It definitely encourages to use more stealth when you're out in the world versus, like I said, going in gun blazing. It forces you to actually think about going into situations. What type of ammo do I have? Do I need to come in and try and sneak on people to get stealth attacks, do melee kills, etc.? Because like I said, you have to scavenge for all your ammo and the things that you want to do. Again, I don't want to give up too many spoilers on the story, other than to say this, and I believe it was PC Gamer that made this suggestion. Play it in Russian with subtitles. It's a lot better that way because the English voice acting, it's not terrible, but it's not the greatest in the world either. I played the majority of it with the English voice acting on, and I had the subtitles going, and I kind of started to tune out the voice acting because I just read what they were saying, and I was just more engaged with actually going through the story itself. It's a great game. It's for sure worth your time to pick it up. I don't know about on console, but on PC, especially pre-launch, I had a ton of issue bug-wise. Every time I would run into a cutscene, it was crashing on me, and I would have to boot into safe mode, go from safe mode to get back into the game to get past the cutscene, and then exit again, and then jump back in so I could play the game. So that was actually a little bit of frustration for me while I was trying to play it pre-launch. I've noticed since launch, I've not had that issue. It's been playing just fine. I know, Danny, you had sent a link and I didn't get a chance to read it, but I guess some people were having issue on console as well. I can't 100% confirm that or not. I can't confirm how good it looks on Xbox One X or PS4 Pro. I know Digital Foundry has a video out there with the comparison, but the PC version, like I said, is fantastic. It really is, as far as visually goes. Again, just the world of Metro, the things that you're going to do in it. And I know I kind of haven't completely explained what that is. You're basically going into a post-apocalyptic, I never say that correctly, Russia and around the Moscow area. And the first two games, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, was pretty much underground, like in the subway system. You had a couple times where you would go above ground, whereas with Metro Exodus, the majority of it is happening above ground. Like I said, in the open world. Again, like I said, it's really just 3 big spaces that you get to explore. But, you know, just the lighting effects, just the daytime effects that are in place, the weather effects that are in place, top notch. And when I say top notch, compares with some of the best games that you see in the industry right now. That's how good this game looks. That's how good this game plays. It's a smart shooter that's going to make you think, and I love it. I've always loved the series. I think 4A Games is one of the most underrated developers out there right now, and this is absolutely worth your time and your money to play if you get a chance. It is only a single player game, so you don't need to rush out and go get it day one, because it's a self-contained experience. Obviously trying to avoid spoilers as you can, but when you do get a chance to pick it up, end of the day, it's going to be one of the best survival shooters that you'll play in 2019. And like Danny said, this isn't my full review. I'm actually working on a video. I'm going to have video up, do a full review of it, kind of, you know, show off some of the environment and everything in there and give my final grade of it. But spoiler alert, I like it a lot. That's it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And there's no like multiplayer or anything. It's just strictly single player, right? Because I don't know much about the game, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's just single player.
Yeah, it's purely single player experience.
Single player, which, hey, sometimes that's all you need. I don't need a freaking co-op. I don't need some forced in. Like, they could easily have done some type of PvP in the Metroverse easily, right? It does lean itself towards that, but I'm actually glad that 4A Games has not fallen into that temptation to force in some PvP or force in a co-op mode. It's you have an AI companion here and there while you're in there playing, but the majority of the game is you surviving against not only environment, the human enemies, the mutated enemies. And like I said, I love that it's not just a bullet sponge, ammo's everywhere fest. You have to think before you go into every encounter. And the best way to handle every encounter, 9 times out of 10, is to use stealth. And the better you get at using the stealth, the more success you're going to have in the game.
Yep. Yeah. The economy of not using bullets excessively makes that game so much more, or so much better than everything else, because you don't have to go in there bullets blazing and emptying your clip and auto reloading every encounter. You're better off actually using, like you said, you're better off using stealth, using your knife. And there's moments where you don't even need to kill anybody. You just knock them out, just creep up from behind, knock them out, put them to the side, and just keep going.
Now, I will say this, and I noticed it especially more in the actual open world spaces where you can observe the AI from afar. The AI is kind of dumb in some scenarios. They're not necessarily using tactics and things like that where, you know, you take out an enemy, they see him and they're calling in reinforcements and they're trying to flank you and things like that. So don't expect that when you're in there. But like, again, the whole point of it is you're very limited on supplies, and you strategically kind of have to look at the environment, map out what your strategy is going to be, and then execute it when you go into a certain scenario. Like, I'll take this. This ain't the Black Tusk in Division 2 on the end game stuff where they sending black mirrors after you and doing all this crazy stuff. Don't expect that, because that's not happening in this game. But like I said, for me, overall, I really enjoy it. It's my type of gameplay. I have a lot of fun with it, and like I said, it makes you think, and I like games that make me think when I have to go in and play. And I've always considered it one of the better shooters out there, and Metro Exodus keeps that up. And now graphically, it is right up there with the best of them graphically. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yo, my nephews is going crazy right now in the background. I don't know if you can hear. Can you
Nope,
hear it?
we cannot hear them.
nothing.
We hear nothing.
Keep going.
Keep going with the show.
Okay. All right. All right. So, I mean, right now, I think it's a good time to be a gamer, man. There's so many games that came out a couple of days ago, so you have a lot of different options. But the game that I think that we've been talking about a lot for like the past few months has been Anthem. But before we talk about Anthem, props to Paris, man. He's in the credits, man. Pretty cool. Was not expecting that at all. You know, the developers just gave a shout out to not only Paris, but a lot of the EA game changers that was giving a lot about the game and stuff. So I was able to see getting the community involved. So very, very cool. But Paris, I know you got an early copy of Anthem for the PC, not for consoles, but your thoughts about the game overall so far, man, because you've been really critical for like since last year. Now that you have it, the final version, was it worth the wait or what?
Actually, I want to backtrack to what you mentioned. Yeah, I want to thank EA, BioWare, and the EA Game Changers program for having me in the credits of the game of Anthem. I won't say too much about it other than the fact that yes, I was involved earlier in the development of Anthem, and I was able to provide some feedback on what I thought about the game to kind of help shape what we got here at launch today, and to then see that they acknowledge all the EA game changers that were involved in that process was amazing. Like I said, I was not expecting that at all. So I just want to thank them first and foremost for that, because they wanted my 100% honest feedback of what I thought about the game, and that is exactly what I gave them. And they appreciated the feedback. I appreciated the opportunity to be able to do something like that. And I will simply say, without getting in trouble, that watching the development of a game is a very interesting process. And it comes down to this: do not judge a game until you get to the final product. And I will leave it at that. It is a very interesting process. Going to your question about Anthem, the game. Yes. I have it early now. I've been playing it since Friday morning, and it's Anthem in this sense. It is a gorgeous world, drop dead gorgeous open world that they have. The feeling of being able to fly throughout that world, the verticality of that world is fantastic. I like the gunplay in it, the third person over the shoulder gunplay that it gives, the combos that you can pull off, being the various characters, be it the Colossus, the Storm, the Interceptor, or the Ranger. I love it. I really do. I think the bones of what BioWare has built with Anthem is amazing. And there's going to be so many great things that will come to this game in the future. And I say that because right now, I cannot, with good faith, recommend anyone picking this game up at $60 price tag today. And here's why. And I've talked about this, during the demo, and just some of the other things, because I went to the Capture event as well, and I got to see some of the end game stuff, previously. I don't feel there's enough content here today that is going to sustain you a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. I feel like, and we've already seen it here just in the early access, people have already completed the story. And it's kind of, all right, now I'm just repeating what I've done before, and they're seeing some of the things that are BioWare's put in place to kind of lengthen out the game time, where you're doing the game mechanics has you going in the world and you have to stay in one spot and defend against a horde of enemies while, basically a counter goes down to quote unquote unlock something or fix something. And that happens a lot. There are a lot of people who are referencing the tomb mission where you kind of have the gap where they're forcing you to go on some fetch it quest to get certain items to kind of lengthen out game time. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the story, and let me be clear here. I'm being critical right now because, again, I'm sure you guys want me to be honest about it. Yes, I appreciate everything BioWare and EA have done, the Game Changers have done, giving me, a sneak peek into the game. But here we are with the final game, and I'm giving my final opinion on it, that I don't feel there's enough content right now. I do not like the loot system. I just don't. That has been one of my big sticklers about it. I don't feel rewarded when I'm out in the world when an item drops and I see common item or I see whatever. I don't like how they force you to go back to Fort Tarsus to do everything. And I believe there is a patch that's coming on the 22nd to speed up when you're in Fort Tarsus, because right now you're slow as molasses when you're in there walking around. But I believe a patch is coming to where you can sprint around. Yes, when you're in Fort Tarsus, it does change over time as you progress through the story, but I simply feel like it is a lifeless environment that is forcing me to have interactions with NPC characters that aren't needed. I don't like that I have to go to Fort Tarsus to change my loadout and see what I have and make adjustments. And I get the lore of it, that it's a javelin and you have to equip it and you don't have all these items with you together. But let's kind of think outside the box here a little bit if I'm BioWare, and make it more accessible, especially when you look at the competition in the space of Destiny and a Division that does allow you to do things like that. I just feel like I'm being forced to do things that are monotonous and not necessarily fun. And the reason I bring that up is hell, when I get into freaking Javelin and I take off like Iron Man and I'm in the world, I freaking love it. I really do. I really love it. I just want to see more mission variety. I want to see more variety when I get to the higher level in-game things, with the strongholds, and potentially one day down the road, maybe they introduce some raid type activities. I feel right now it's just very content light for what you're doing. Yes, you will have fun when you play it the first few times through. Don't get me wrong. And because I guarantee you will see people on social media screaming from the heavens right now about how much they're loving the game. Let's see if they're saying this 3 weeks from now. Let's see if they're saying this 2 months from now. And it's going to be up to BioWare and EA to actually get that roadmap that they promised us now and get that content flowing to show me that, yep, here's new content, here's new variety in gameplay, here's different weapons. We've overhauled the loot system. We've overhauled some of the quality of life UI things that I think plague it right now. And it's funny because if Anthem came out 2 years ago, I don't think I have these complaints. I really don't. I think I have these complaints because I've been playing Destiny for 4 years. I've been playing The Division recently. We know The Division 2 is coming. These are games that have matured in the space, and Anthem is coming in a very immature state, and it's going to take time, and it's going to get there. I guarantee you a year from now, we're not having this conversation. I think Anthem will be a completely different game a year from now. I just think these are the growing pains that happen when you introduce these open world looter shooters into the space. And because of that, it's going to be compared to its older siblings. Fair or not. That's the reality of it. And people are going to criticize it because it's not what the other two games are. Bottom line. And I do think, and people have played it on the demo now, I do think Anthem is more Monster Hunter than it is Destiny or Division, but that doesn't matter either. You're going to be compared to those other two games. It's just a fact of life. And I would say to people that pick it up at launch, if you spend $60, have patience. Have patience. Understand that you're going to have fun with it early on, because you 100% will, but understand that you're going to hit a content drought. And trust me, I'm not saying this just for Anthem, because I'm very grumpy with Destiny 2 right now, because I do not like where Bungie is going with the game either. And that's a conversation for another day. We'll see what the Division 2 is when that comes out at launch. But for what Anthem is right now, just understand that you're going to get a drop dead gorgeous game that is going to have some quality of life issues. It's going to have some UI issues. It's going to have some loot issues. It's going to have some repetitive gameplay. when you get in there. Yes, they've actually, thankfully, because of our feedback with the Grandmaster difficulty, when you do get to the end game, they've reduced the bullet sponge in the difficulty. If you watch one of the videos, I have it, but Jesus Christ, that was freaking ridiculous. You're just pumping bullets into these low-level enemies that have these shields on them, and it required you to obviously work together as a team and get your combos and all that. That's great, but it wasn't fun. It was just, hey, let's ramp up difficulty just for the sake of difficulty. And I didn't necessarily feel that the items that we were getting were rewarding. They have tuned that going into launch, so it's not as bad anymore. But these are the kind of things where us as a community, for the people that will be dedicated to play Anthem day one, give feedback. And give constructive feedback. Don't just go on Twitter and cuss out BioWare and EA. No, go, hey, here's what I like. Here's what I didn't like, because they are listening. They want that feedback. Trust me when I tell you, they want that feedback, because they want to make Anthem the best game that it possibly can be, right? And the only way it's going to get there is if we open our mouths and we give useful, constructive criticism. And like I said, I'm being very hard on the game right now because I see the potential of it and I want it to be great. I want it to force me to have the conundrums of conundrums, like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to play? I'm going to play this and play that because I want to play Anthem because it's so good. Right now, it's an easy decision for me to not play Anthem and play other things. And it shouldn't be that way. But I am different because I played a lot of Anthem before launch, so I already know what to expect, right? But for people that are picking it up right now on early access, and for people that are going to pick it up next week, just understand that you will have early fun, and then you will reach a point where you're going to go, this is very repetitive. What am I doing? But BioWare is committed to adding new content to the game. And like I said, I think the future for the game is bright, but it's going to be up to us working with the developers and providing feedback to help the game get to where it needs to be. And I've talked a lot, so I will be quiet.
So this roadmap that they've announced back in early February, right? They talk about the first act coming up, Evolving World or something like that. It's the Echoes of Reality, and then they'll move on. I'm actually looking at the big screenshot that they sent up with all the things that they'll be releasing throughout the year, you know, expanded progression system, strongholds, you know, guilds and leaderboards, missions, and ultimately, you know, culminating in the Cataclysm, which we don't know a lot about. It seems as if, and I think we've already talked about this in the past, but it almost seems as if they didn't learn from the stumbles and mistakes that Bungie and the Division did, you know, when they first launched. But it almost seems like these are reactionary things, maybe partially to what, you know, you and the rest of the EA Game Changers provided as feedback, but also what other games are delivering now. The question I still think, you know, that sits on everybody's lips is, why weren't these implemented at launch? And if not, and if they knew that this was going to be a living, breathing, and Danny just left, Danny comes back. If they were going to do that, why drop it now and just feel that, okay, I'm just going to update it later, as opposed to delivering a full service or a full plate of food at the beginning?
I can answer that question, because at this point, they can't just keep delaying the game. At some point, it has to come out. At some point, with these games, you have to understand, and this goes with Destiny, this goes with the Division. We've seen that track record over the past few years. These games only get better once they go public and we actually start providing feedback. You know, you saw the list of EA Game Changers that were part of that. We are a micro fraction of the community. We are a small percentage with our own wants and needs. Again, I won't talk too much about how that whole process worked, but you know, you need the entire community giving feedback. You need Reddit to be freaking lit with people talking about what they like, what they don't like. I want this to change, what that changes, because once you start to see trends, then that's when you can start leaning a certain way on, all right, let's add this to the game. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. And trust me, like another big issue is the flipping load screens. Drives me bananas in 2019 that I have a game that has this many load screens and this type of, you know, when you compare it again to its siblings, fair or not, it doesn't look like why it looks like why are you releasing this game in this state when you've seen all the lessons learned from the other type of games in this space. But here's the thing, development ain't easy, right? And I'm not trying to defend BioWare in this sense. They're making the game that they want to make, but they're going to have to take their lumps, just like Bungie and just like Massive did in this space, to understand what it means to try and make a game of this type. And here we are. And like I said, I do enjoy when I pick up a controller or I pick up a mouse or a keyboard and I'm out in that open world exploring, I have fun. The problem is when I'm not out in that world exploring, I'm like, this sucks. I want to hurry up and get past all this Fort Tarsus stuff. I don't like that I have to go see this person to go change my javelin loadout. You know, I hate that when I get drops when I'm out in the world, I have to wait until I'm completely back to Fort Tarsus to see what it is. These are the type of things that they got to fix. I don't like that Fort Tarsus feels very stale and generic. I want it to feel alive and vibrant. I want to show off my javelin, which again, our feedback was a direct result of that space that you guys saw in the demo where you can go in with your javelin and you see other people there. That was not in the game a few months ago. Trust me when I tell you. And these are the type of things that they need to add to the game, because why am I going through all this trouble of customizing my javelin and making it look cool? Like I saw our good friend Khalif, he's making the damn Constructicons out of all his javelins, right? With paint color and everything. But who is he showing it to? Except on Twitter, right? He's not showing it to anyone in the world. No one's going to see him in Fort Tarsus and go, man, that looks freaking cool. Where'd you get that? You know, where's this actual social hub so that, you know, we can have that sense of pride of the gear and the loot and all the things that we're getting? Those aren't there yet. And maybe for some people that doesn't matter, but for a lot of people it does. And these are the kind of things that BioWare needs to hear so they can fix it and actually change it. And like I said, some fixes are coming on the 22nd, but not enough. And it's going to take time to do it. But like I said, for the people that want to be in this community and want to see this game succeed, you got to give the feedback, and you got to give honest feedback. You can't, like, I could sit up here and freaking, oh, it's great. It's, oh, pick it up. Oh, blah, 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 blah. But you know, I'm not going to do that. And I can tell you right now, the only reason I even was able to give feedback early is because they saw I wasn't going to do that. Right. Because they knew I was going to be honest about the game and be blunt and to the point of what I thought, which I was, you know, for better or for worse. And, you know, that's what they need from the community as well. Be honest. Don't just love a game just because you love who the developer is. They made Mass Effect 2 back in the day and you love that. If Anthem isn't doing it for you, you got to say it isn't doing it for you, because ultimately that's going to make the game better down the road.
There's people that will say that they prefer a game like Anthem to The Division because of the way how you play Anthem. Do you think they should also give the Division a chance, or should stick with just Anthem because of that, because of the way how the shooting? Because some people find the Division, like when you're batting out with the enemies, they find that really boring, and they will find it more entertaining with Anthem. You know, the whole flying around and doing all these power moves, and you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
well, so here's what I'll say, and because I had actually tweeted this last week. Between Anthem, The Division, and Destiny, there's something for everyone. Only you can decide which one is for you. There are people that absolutely love Anthem for what, like Destin over at IGN. You know, he does the Fire Team chat. He's big into Destiny. That dude has been streaming Anthem all weekend because he loves it. RX, who's a huge YouTube content creator, you know, you met him at E3 a couple years ago, loves Anthem, just cannot stop singing its praises, and that's okay. I'm not necessarily those two guys where I'm just going to sit here and sing its praises, because what I'm seeing too many of the flaws that bug me that I can't overlook, and I want to see them fixed. But that's me. But that's not going to be everybody. Same goes for The Division. There's things about The Division people are going to love. There's things about it they're not going to like. Same goes with Destiny, all the above, right? So it really comes that have been playing it. Go on Reddit, go on social media, you know, do your homework on if this game is for you and if you should give it a try. The fact that we even have an Origin premiere right now, or EA was it Access or on the consoles, where you can basically do a trial for it, do that kind of stuff too. And what happened to Are you still there?
I'm here. We're here. I think
I'm
that
here.
might have.
Oh, Discord's gone. I think Pete's gone.
Nope, I'm here.
Is Pete gone?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Pete?
Oh no!
I'm
wow,
here.
that
I'm
was
here.
me. Okay, weird. Edit
No,
all
it
that
just
out.
no. The stream went down from a Twitch perspective, but us streaming online, I'm still here. I'm still pushing packets. I don't have any network loss. This is more them, I think.
Okay. All right, we're good.
I
We're
hope.
good then.
Actually,
yeah, obviously.
oh, now I'm seeing a drop on my side.
Uh-oh.
Well, wait.
Stand by.
Okay.
Yeah, hit refresh on the screen.
Give it
but I gotta.
Yeah. Yeah, give it a second here.
it's Bioware and EA coming out to Paris.
Yeah. Well, come after Paris. Don't come after me.
he's saying too much. Cut him off. Cut him off. Go.
Yeah. I think it's come back. I think it's back to normal.
I think we're okay.
It was just a minor blip.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Pick it back up
next,
here.
Should we go next?
Well, I just want to say that I think the issue with people trying to compare the two is the suspension of belief between a game like Anthem or a game like The Division. People may gravitate more towards a game like Anthem because a bullet sponge effect can be more believable. I actually had this conversation with a good friend of mine, Dan, this past week when him and I were chatting about it. He's like, he feels that Anthem is more designed for him because he can't fathom the concept of a human being a bullet sponge, but you have somebody in a robot suit or in a fantasy in like a sci-fi or fantasy aspect being able to take damage like that because the suspension of belief is there because it's a fantasy world. You've got armor, you're a robot, etc. So it's more believable. Versus, there's no way a human should be a bullet sponge. And while yes, we're all playing video games, we're talking about video games, that's his mechanism for it. And it made me step back for a second and be like, you know what, that makes sense. It's not always about being the human bullet sponge. So there's a place for both. I really wish that EA would have held on to this and just pushed it back. Honestly, I think if they would have just put if they would have, as people have been calling it, putting it back in the oven, let it launch for holiday season 2019, they wouldn't be going up against Apex, which is literally the apex predator of video games right now. It's killing everything off on Twitch. And wait till the holidays. Let it come out fully baked, golden brown, crispy with the cheese melting on the side and everything, and they would have had a lot less issues and complaints from people. But hey, good luck, EA. Like Paris has said, you're gonna have a great title in about a year. Let it bake. Give it time.
All right. So the next game we're going to be talking about is Crackdown 3 that just came out also on the 15th. And I didn't get a review copy, to the truth. I went straight to Game Pass and started playing that. The thing that I find is super weird is the way how Microsoft been sending out the review codes to not only the media sites, but also the YouTubers, streamers. The process was just freaking confusing. So they'll send some people the campaign code for them to review, and then some people the multiplayer. For Pete, they sent them the multiplayer version for him to check out.
Just the
totally confusing. I don't get the whole thing. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why split the two files for people to review instead of having everything into one. Totally confusing. I don't get it. So I downloaded the game through Game Pass. And I know that this game was just going to be just Crackdown, nothing crazy, stories, whatever. I had an idea because of ever since the first game, it was the same thing. I didn't really care about the story. The only thing that was fun to me was just collecting orbs, boss battles, everything. The main reason why I purchased, I got the first Crackdown was just to play Halo 3, the beta. Then the second one, they sent us, that was the first review codes that we got through for GTR, there was digital codes. It was Crackdown 2. So they sent us a couple, and we all got together to play it, and we were just having fun, just collecting orbs and doing the campaign and whatever, right? But we never cared about the story from both of those games. So I was like, all right, Crackdown 3 is going to be the same exact thing. Let me just play it. So knowing that the game's been getting a lot of bad reviews, I was like, oh, I'm going to play this with an open mind, see what happens, and so on. So I started playing it. I'm having fun with the game. And I feel like I know this game is not going to be no game of the year contender or anything like that, but it is what it is. I'm having fun with it. Now, even people that I know that doesn't play Xbox games, they also been posting on Twitter, hey, yo, I'm having fun too. I'm like, all right, so it's cool. So I know that this game's been getting really bad reviews. And one of the reviews that got my attention the most was, I think, was Giant Bomb. They said the game is not bad. It just feels dated. The way how Microsoft was promoting it in the early days, like the first time they started announcing and talking about Crackdown 3, they were like, oh, it's going to be a new thing, power of the cloud and everything. So everybody's expecting, yo, this is going to be like next gen, so on. So when everybody gets the game, like, wait a minute, this game could have released on the 360, and it's just, there's nothing really new about this game. But at the end of the day, I told people this: don't buy it, right? But if you have Game Pass, check it out. What is that, Paris? Oh, code.
Just
Okay,
keep talking.
my bad. So I think if you have Game Pass, check it out. If you're very curious and you don't have Game Pass, don't buy it until later that the prices go down. Maybe go buy like that. But I'm having fun with the game. The only thing that I really don't like, and I don't know why they released this, was the multiplayer, because I tried to play it and I find it just extremely boring. But if you're a fan of collecting orbs, hidden orbs, actually the boss battles in this is a lot better than the first two. I find it a little bit more challenging than the other ones. The first one I find is extremely easy. But if you like the whole explosion just going crazy, if you're a fan of like Just Cause, that type of vibe, you should try it out. I truly enjoyed Crackdown 3. Yes, it's not the greatest game out there, but I'm having fun. So I don't know if you guys want to say anything about that. And I get the whole marketing thing and all that stuff. I get it. It was just stupid. I don't even know why they mentioned Power of the Cloud, because there's nothing really new in this game. But that's what I have to say. But anything else you guys want to say? Or
You want to take it, Peter? Or you want me to take it?
I'll soften the blow before you come in with the uppercut.
Hold up, let me put my glasses on. Hold up.
All right, I'm giving away codes on the stream. Then I'm going.
Okay,
you talk.
Just in case.
Danny's putting the hater blockers on.
I have to protect myself from the the anti-crackdown people, but it's all good.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's just a conversation. It's all
good.
I don't mind.
How do I phrase this?
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, shout out to Microsoft and Assembly for sending me out the code for Crackdown. The PvP, was it just that mode, right? Thank you. I don't know if it's what I needed in 2019 was a separate download for this. I don't know why they split that off for the review purposes. Since I don't have the full campaign, I don't know if Danny has access to that or if he had to do 2 downloadables. I don't know.
You know what's funny? I had to download it twice. I had no idea there was 2 different files. That's the thing that I found it confusing. Because when I first heard that the game was already available on Game Pass, like to preload, I was like, pre-download. Dude, I did that. And it says campaign. I was like, all right, maybe an update. The multiplayer is going to be in the game closer to launch. So then you said, oh, yeah, they sent me the multiplayer. I'm like, that's confusing, right?
Yeah.
So when I searched through the store, they had 2 different files. I don't get it. I don't know why they did that. It's so confusing in 2019. Like, why do that?
Yeah,
Instead of just release everything in one file, make it easier for the regular consumer. Now, if you buy the disc, that's different. Of course, you're going to install it, but still you're going to be installing 2 different files when you get the game retail. If you buy it digitally, again, it's two separate files.
Yeah,
Confusing. But go ahead. Pete.
that
Sorry
makes
about
no sense. I don't understand the marketing behind or the decision why they were, why they would release two separate files.
Yeah.
I don't know if, from what I've seen from people playing, because I've watched, probably about 9 different people streaming the game, people who were either enthusiasts for Crackdown or people who were just playing it to play it, whether it be for the stream or as a a featured streamer or whatever for the game. It feels like it seems to play like Crackdown 1 or Crackdown 2 with a little bit of enhancements, but I don't see any improvements. I don't see anything about Crackdown 3 that drives people outside of what Crackdown 1 and 2 originally delivered for the Xbox 360. I don't know.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
This is a game that looks, and I can't say feels because I'm not playing it, but this is a game that looks like it's still stuck on Xbox 360, right? And that's a shame because it was fun, and maybe because it's dated, it gets that feeling. But it seems, unfortunately, almost, and this could almost seem like an indictment on Xbox, in general. But a lot of their titles aren't pushing the envelope, whether it be from a story / narrative perspective, from a mechanics perspective. It's a shame, honestly, because it's got potential, right? It has that, and I understand, the whole Michael Bay feeling of going in, guns blazing, and everything exploding. You got Terry Crews, who's just an amazing person. But I just think it's a shame that there was a lost opportunity for Crackdown, and maybe because it is that dated feeling, that maybe pushes that. I don't know. I just wish it could have done better. I don't see how, being a $60 title, this is what gamers got. I could see maybe a $30, maybe $40, but a full $60 for Crackdown 3, I think that's a little too rich in my personal opinion.
I agree. $39.99, I think
max. I think max.
Like max should have been $39, and then wait if you want until.
I mean, I paid $30.
I've never mentioned this. I never mentioned to you guys for anyone to buy this. I said, look, if you have Game Pass, try it out. If you don't have Game Pass, and you're still curious about it, you can wait until the price goes down. I'm dead serious about it.
Oh, I'm not laughing at you.
Wait.
Here's
the thing. Like, it's available on Game Pass. So if I have Game Pass for a year, why not download it? I don't see anything wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I download a bunch of random games that I've never played before through Game Pass. So I'm like, hey, you know what? It's available there. Let me just do it. It's the same thing with other streaming services. Yo, there's stuff that they release. I'm like, yo, this is kind of garbage. Let me see if it's true. And then I'm like, it's okay. It's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So
just waiting for Paris to put on the XSplit hat now.
No, and I know what Paris is gonna say because we've been having this conversation before. But here's the thing, like, Pete, I totally 100% I agree with you, 100%, right? But here's the thing. I think the no, I'm serious, guy. I feel like you're not taking my opinion serious.
I'm not. I'm not even laughing at you. I'm honestly giggling at Paris, and he literally looks like he needs to put like a shawl on right now.
I don't care. Look. I'll tell you this. I'm having fun with the game, and I think the problem that I see with a lot of people is when a lot of sites are giving bad reviews to a game. Let's say for example, Pete, PUBG, right? You love that game, even with all the bugs. You still defend and love that game, right? It got bad reviews here and there, right? The first Destiny got bad reviews, but a lot of people enjoy that game, And I think that, to me, in my opinion, is a lot of people will give it bad reviews, but it's better for us to find out on our own, or at least do our research to see if it's good or not, instead of just depending on just major media outlets to say, okay, it's a bad game. You know what I'm trying to say? I just feel like we shouldn't get too gassed up because, look, I mentioned this to you guys even before I recorded that, I was super hyped for Red Dead 2, right? I downloaded the game. The game, amazing reviews everywhere, right? I got to play it, and I was freaking falling asleep. I was extremely bored. But if I say that, people will go actually right now on power social media and play and say all these things. Oh, Godfrey, why are you saying this about Red Dead, the game of the year, blah blah blah. But yo, if I find boring, like I'm not gonna force myself to like something just because it's getting 9s and 10s everywhere.
But see,
You
Danny,
know what I'm trying to say?
that's fine, Danny. But this is not. But we're not. But we're not trying to discuss whether you are allowed to enjoy it or not. It has nothing to do with what our conversations have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think that there's a reason for you to try to put up the sword and shield and defend your personal opinion and your ability to enjoy it.
I'm not saying the game is amazing. I'm not saying that. I'm just having fun with it. Like,
okay.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Good for you. Go get a rack of Oreos and let Paris rip.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow. You know what? Go ahead, Paris. Hey, look, Paris talked a lot in the first half, so I had to take over for a second there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and thanks for the Oreo cookies. It's good.
All right. So, with in regards to Crackdown 3, you're right on what you're saying, Danny. As an individual consumer having Game Pass, 100%. Go try it out. See if it's for you. If it's not, keep it moving. My issue is not with that. My issue is not with Crackdown. Well, actually, it is. My issue is this. Crackdown just dropped here in February 2019. The first time we heard about Crackdown 3 was in 2014, and they had their freaking marketing whole bonanza, power of the cloud. This was going to be a generational leap in the way that we use cloud computing and have destructible environments in multiplayer games. That was the sales pitch in 2014. Mm-hmm. How dare I hold them to that standard in 2019 of them not delivering that? Instead, they delivered a game that would have been barely acceptable at the start of the Xbox 360 era, let alone be acceptable here at the end of the Xbox One era. Mm-hmm. Games have changed in the past 5 years and are no longer what we expected back freaking 10 years ago, right? Remember, the original Crackdown came out 12 years ago. I'll be damned if this is not basically more of the same. From 12 years ago, games evolve, games change. And the example that I use, because people was getting mad at me on Twitter like they always do, is look at a game like God of War. God of War didn't stay static. God of War's not the same freaking game that it was 12 years ago. They evolved. They changed what God of War was, but they kept the spirit of what God of War was, so that now it is arguably the best game of the past year, right? So here's my thing. Microsoft didn't take a risk. They didn't try something radically different with Crackdown 3. They promised something radically different, but at the end of the day, because they got stuck in development hell, we basically got a polished up version of the original Crackdown from freaking 2007. That's what my issue is. My issue also is how dare you freaking charge consumers $60 for this? Mm-hmm. If it was 30, I don't say a word if it was $30 today, because that's exactly what this game is worth, in my opinion. And I don't like people leaning on, well, it's on Game Pass, so since it's on Game Pass, you can just try it.
First of all, I don't talk like that, but go ahead.
Since it's on Game Pass, you know. No, but my point is, because it's on Game Pass, people are using that as an excuse to say, oh, it's okay that it's in the state that it is because you could just pick it up on Game Pass. Well, what if I don't have Game Pass, right? No, Danny, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking in general. I didn't see a freaking peep when you were talking, right? So let me talk. Look at me. So my point is this: because it's on Game Pass, that shouldn't be used as a crutch to deliver a AA experience for what was promised to be a AAA experience, right? And the analogy I use is this, because people are like, well, look at Netflix. People watch things on Netflix that aren't necessarily great. Guess what? House of Cards, when it first came out on Netflix, was a AAA experience, right? It got crappy towards the end. Guess what? I stopped watching it. I didn't go ahead. Well, I started watching House of Cards, and because I have the Netflix subscription, even though it sucks now, I'm going to keep watching it. No, I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, we're setting a dangerous precedent with Game Pass to say that it's okay if Microsoft releases half-ass games because it's Game Pass. That should not be the precedent, right?
Nope.
It should be, hey, you've given me a nice subscription service that's going to keep me in your ecosystem, but you keep delivering AAA content to me the way I expect. And if we want to take it even further and take Forza Horizon and put it off to the side, name me a relevant AAA game that Xbox has delivered this entire generation. You can't, because they haven't. And that's the number one problem that I have right here. And look, I'm not saying they're going to do this into the next generation. I feel like they're setting themselves up well in the next generation to change all this. But Crackdown 3 to me is the last relic of the Don Matrick era, right? Of the era of they were trying to sell us a bag of freaking goods that weren't going to come to reality. To me, this is the shining example of what they were doing in 2013, 2014. And sadly, they've not delivered. You could argue maybe Gears 4 if you want, Halo 5, hell no, in my opinion, but they've not given me, there's not a memorable game from the Xbox One exclusive platform that's a AAA experience this generation. I can't think of one. I could think of, off the top of my head, God of War, Uncharted 4, Spider-Man, Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda. You know, I can think of other games on other platforms that were exclusive to them that were memorable from this generation that will have a lasting impression on me. Can't do that from Xbox One. So when I see people consistently excusing that we got this half-ass experience from Crackdown 3 and say, oh, that's okay, it's just more Crackdown. Crackdown's fun. I even had a friend of ours, and I won't say who he is, but you know damn well who you are, who with a straight face said, yep, I would spend $60 on Crackdown 3. Stop lying. No, you would not. You would not do that.
I would not spend no $60 for that game.
That is ridiculous to say.
That's crazy. That's
And-
crazy.
and-
That is ridiculous to say.
And not to say that
I get it. I get the whole thing, Paris. I get it. But here's the thing. If I downloaded a Game Pass and other people download a Game Pass and having fun, it's like, oh, we should
take Game Pass out of it. No,
but let me finish. I let you talk.
You didn't let me finish. I wasn't even done talking.
Should we feel guilty?
This nonsense?
But should we? Let me say something. Ask you a question. Should we feel because of all the things that you said, and be like, you know what? If you play it, your opinion doesn't count because it's a half-ass game. If you got a Game Pass, or even if let's say you just bought it, and you're enjoying it, then what? Their opinion is wrong though? Is it wrong?
No one said. Okay, Jesus Christ!
But
I never said your opinion.
I
I didn't say your opinion. I started off by saying your individual opinion is correct, but the overall point is what I just said. It's not about you, the individual. You like whatever the hell you want to like. I'm not telling you to not like a game. If you love Crackdown, Tony Polanco, who ain't even an Xbox player, freaking loves it. That's fine.
Yeah,
that is fine. My point is you came in here like a snake oil salesman in 2014 and tried to sell me a bag of goods, and this is what the frick you give me 5 years later. Not acceptable.
But like I said, don't buy it. If you feel that this is bad, then don't buy it. And show. Look, I think by you not buying something and not supporting it like that, like going into the stores or whatever, and I think it will help out. Like the feedback. Post on Twitter. Let the developers know, hey, how do you feel about the game? That's it. But I think that I agree about the whole thing. What you were saying. Well, like there was even a time that I think God of War was getting bad reviews there was a time that it was getting bad reviews, and they had to evolve. They had to make the game different for the next gen, but they had to go through that stage of people like, hey, I'm not liking this at all, man. I forgot which game it was. It was one of the older God of War games. I just can't remember exactly on top of the head, but look, in this generation, I enjoyed Gears of War 4. I enjoyed Forza Horizon. There's other stuff like Ori and all that, Cuphead and all that. But those are the only two games I can think of from this generation has been like really fun, top notch from Microsoft. And also Sunset Overdrive, in my opinion, but a lot of people might disagree, whatever. But I just hope that next generation we'll get to see a lot of good things, man, because I think this generation has been kind of up and down. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
well, that's the good thing with the recent spate of changes, right? You've got the acquisition of Ninja Theory, Obsidian, In Exile, and studios like that. I think it's Matt Booty who's in charge of a lot of those those new studio things.
Yeah, Xbox Game Studio.
The forward thought process for Microsoft, which is to start finally developing those AAA in-house games for the platform, is going to be crucial for the next 4 or 5 years. As Microsoft continues to battle Sony for that, Sony and Nintendo for the dollars of the consumers who are becoming more and more petty and more, frugal with how they spend their cash, it's going to be very telling. Microsoft can't continue to drop Crackdown 3s, and I'll even say it's Sea of Thieves. Those aren't game titles that are going to sell consoles. If they're going to do that, then just devote your time to the console and your Xbox Live service and just play and just sell the ability to play games on your platform with hardware. Stop trying to be a game studio if you're not going to be able to do it well or successfully. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, before we move on, I think that this might be the last Crackdown. If they do,
it's definitely gonna be the last Crackdown. I don't see a reason why.
I'm just saying, if they do decide to bring this back, get a brand new studio, brand new developers with new concepts, new everything, and work on that game. That's all. That's what I have to say. I have to say about that stuff, man. So, do you think we have time to do fan mail or no? Not all of it, but at least the voicemails, at least. It's not that many.
I just want to say for the record, I was not done. So thanks for taking a comment from me.
No, go ahead.
No, let's move on.
I
just
wrap it up.
I just wanted to point that out because I'm allegedly petty according to the chat thing. So
no, it's different opinions. Honestly, we all have different opinions, man.
No,
there's
here's
gonna be
the thing.
people gonna say Paris is right.
You just let him talk, goddammit.
This is why I said move on, because here's the problem. Every time I try to bring up my point, you're steering it in the wrong direction into something personal. It's not a personal individual thing that I keep talking about. All I'm saying is this, and I will shut up about it. They tried to sell us a generational leap of a game, and they gave us an Xbox 360 game. That is, sorry, I'm not gonna let that ride and go, oh, it's okay, it's just more Crackdown and it's fun. It's not what you sold me 5 years ago, and you had 5 years to try and create it, and you didn't. You failed at it, which is fine. I'm not saying everything has to be perfect, but this is another example from that era of the Xbox One where their marketing was flat out of freaking control. It is just another example of where they were, I don't want to say they were trying to trick the consumer, because I'm sure they were trying to get to that power of the cloud thing, but it failed. They couldn't reach it. And then we got this. And then now all I'm seeing is excuses on that's okay. It's not okay. No, as a gamer, you shouldn't be accepting okay. You should get the game that you wanted. And like you said, at the end of the day, vote with your freaking wallet. Don't buy it. I 100% would not buy Crackdown 3, and I would not suggest anyone to buy Crackdown 3 unless you just want to revisit the Xbox 360 era. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
I'm done.
You're done? You're done?
Yep, I'm done. So you can defend it again if you want.
No, I'm just saying this because, it's funny. I'm going to move on because I'm not going to say anything. Whatever. Let me just move on. I'm just reading the stuff from the chat here. So can we do fan mail or no?
That's up to you.
We're already at an hour.
We're already at the hour mark, though.
Yeah?
So.
Or just save it?
Save it.
What do you guys think?
Save it so that way we have more.
Your call.
I say save it. I say we save it. We're already at the 1 hour mark. If we do that, we're going to be here for at least another half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So good. But yeah, hey, if you guys agree, disagree, let us know. That's what I like about this. I bet you right now that a lot of people are going to be emailing us, not only because of the Crackdown, but also because of Metro and probably also Anthem. Not reviews, but hands-on impressions and stuff. So make sure to tune in to Paris channel, right? The YouTube channel for reviews of Metro and also Anthem, right?
Yeah, I have some videos up of Metro, Anthem. Yeah, I guess what the Division 2 open beta is coming soon, so I have some stuff on that too.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna add new things in there for the beta, open beta.
I hope so. I hope people get to play the in-game stuff that we played at the preview.
Yeah, the Air and Space Museum and the Federal Bunker. Cool. Those two were so much fun.
Head over to gamertagradio.com, put your comments and feedback. And also you can check us out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitch, and other podcast directories. If you get an opportunity, please also to subscribe, post reviews, and share with your friends. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up?
No. Happy birthday to the GOAT. Right. Happy birthday to the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Woo!
Woo! By the way, speaking of happy birthday, Gamertag Radio is turning 14 years next week. I'm going to DC during that week. And also after that, I've got to go to Arizona for a little bit there too. So anybody in the DC area or also Phoenix, Arizona, hit me up, Danny at gamertagradio.com if you want to hang out. This is going to be my first time going to both of those places. Never been there. So any recommendations you think where I should go and check out, please let me know. I'm going to be there for a couple of days, man. So and that's about it, man. So if you're watching the stream, we're going to continue with the after show. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time, we're out. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, one thing I guess I didn't do on the show proper. I want to send this. Hey, look, after I just freaking rip Crackdown to shreds, I want to thank Xbox because they helped me out this week. My Xbox One X was not powering on, and they helped me get it repaired. So I want to thank them. It was awesome. Cool. It was very nice.
That was very cool.
See how we did that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what's going to happen like next gen. I think, and I should have mentioned this, man. Like, I think Khalif was the one that brought this up. Microsoft had been doing a better job with hardware than software. The last generation, they did better with software. So it's interesting. And I wonder what's going to happen with the next gen. How's that going to work out? Are they going to do much better on both, or maybe just software or hardware or what? You know, so very curious, man, about that stuff. By the way, Pete, when are we going to do daily conversations, man? I've been doing it with Paris a couple of times, man. You got to let me know when you're free so we could just.
It's going to hey, I've told you in the chat, it's going to have to be in the afternoon or evening time because my mornings for work are too swamped. I don't have time for that. So.
Yeah, it's all good. And
screw you, Dan. Thank you, Nightbot, for regulating on Hevia in the chat.
Yeah, well. It's all good. Yo, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm expecting people gonna be trashing me and all that. I really don't give a crap, man. That's, you know, it's my opinion, man. Yo, like Paris has opinions of stuff, you know, he stick with it. I stick with my stuff, man. You know, so it's gonna happen. I know people are gonna hit me up like crazy, but that's how I feel about this stuff, man.
No, but
that's
okay. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I did not. Like I said it before we even started. I honestly didn't even want to start talking about Crackdown 3 because I get that it's very polarizing. That people are seeing the game for what it is right now and saying, "Hey, it's on Game Pass. It's fun." I don't see what the issue is. I'm just like an elephant, dude. I remember what they tried to sell me back in 2014, and I think. This is what you delivered. Think about this. Why do you think Terry Crews got added to that game?
They needed someone to pole vault off of.
Yeah. They knew.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's the closest to like marketing wise to is that because they're not really pushing it. And one of the things that I forgot to mention too, like, you know, when a game is not going to be that great when they wait close to the release date to send out review codes. Every company does that. Every company. Now, if they're confident, you will get that code 2 weeks in advance because they're confident about the product.
Not all the time, though. Not 100%. Because look at Apex. Apex dropped with notification.
That's different.
But that's the unicorn. That's the unicorn.
Yeah.
That's different. That's one of those, to me, Apex Legends is like Apple at a press conference. It's available right now, like that. It was supposed to be like that, but the leak and all that. Then yeah, it kind of killed it for EA. But yeah, that's a different type of vibe, I think.
And it's funny, like bringing up Apex with that, because we talked about it before. The more I've thought about it since then, that only works because it's free. Doing the stealth release that way. If that was a $60 game, I don't think you can do that. Even though, hey, I think the future is getting influencers out and having them. I still think you have to have a little bit of lead up to it. I don't think we need these 18-month campaigns or anything like that. But you got to give people some kind of heads up that it's coming. If you're expecting them to spend money day one on it, if it's free, go for it. I don't think that's because people will download free all day. But if Apex was $60 and you said, and go download it now, there's not 25+ million people playing it right now.
No,
I don't think.
Now it will sell a lot, right? For maybe less than 500,000, maybe, I think. Max, and this is just me being generous, maybe 1 million. If it was $59.99, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's free, it's been going around, and yeah, of course that's helping the game out big time, man. You know what would have been really cool if I think the issue that I'm having right now with people that are playing a lot of Apex Legends, they're getting mad that Respawn is going to start adding other game modes within the game. I think slowly they're gonna add like big team battle, solo duels, four squad game modes too. But people are like, nah, stick with the three squad. And it's like, in order for that game to become even bigger, they need to add new content, new modes to keep it fresh, and more people come and discover it, and they're gonna find their mode that they like. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just keep the game the same and that's it, and just release a season pass. Like, I feel like the game is not gonna grow. That's the reason why Fortnite became so successful. Besides adding the whole battle royale, is because they started adding content all the time. Even the small game events that happens once in a while, like the Marshmallow DJ Marshmallow event that they had a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty cool. They need to start adding new content, man, because after a while it's gonna get old. People are gonna get tired of playing the same thing just over and over and over and over again. So I don't have any issues with that. Pete, do you have any issues with that Respawn is planning to add more content?
No, I have no problem with that. I want more modes. I want duos. I want a solos mode. That helps people. I think that helps people who play the game more. Give it more avenues to enjoy and appreciate. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't always have. You don't always have 3 people. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's in a sense like PUBG, where you've got 100 people that you've got to worry about and track. You've got a much smaller server size and 60 people. So why not just have a duos mode, or why not have a solos mode? It's a game that lends itself easier to do that. So and the way that they've got the infrastructure running with multi-cloud offerings and utilizing multiplayer for a lot of their backend services, and on top of their Strider backend, fantastic. And if you want more information on that, let me see if I can find that video again, and I'll put it in the chat. It's an interview with John Shearing from Respawn at Google, and he talks about the use of multiple cloud offerings, how they transitioned from the original Titanfall using just Azure to switching it up for Titanfall 2 and for Apex, using multiple cloud providers, using Azure, using AWS, and then obviously with multiplay's offerings as well. So it's a really good, interesting talk if you want to get into the technical aspect of it.
Anything else?
I saw the Division 2 put out they had a video on official Twitter account, put out how they're handling their infrastructure for the game, as far as like Pete was just talking about Azure and AWS being able to spin up additional instances globally, what they're going to do for their anti-cheat stuff as well. I mean, it looks pretty good. you heard me just talking about Anthem before, and I'm not necessarily that happy with Destiny 2 right now. I'm actually kind of concerned about this Joker's Wild DLC that's coming out right now because they're simply not talking about it. No Trials is not coming back for the foreseeable future, which I think is a mistake as well. My most excitement right now is the Division 2. I mean, it's just, call me biased or whatever you want, but that's fine. But as far as me playing a game, that's the one that I'm excited for. Like, I can't wait for the open beta to come so I can jump back into play. My son and I were having a lot of fun together. You know, we're doing it on the stream. Obviously playing with Pete. Screw you, Dan. I don't want to play with you. And,
I could. It's okay.
Here's a funny thing though. I'm being serious when I say this.
Yeah.
PC is going to be my primary. Might see old boys show up on Xbox.
We don't want you. Go away. We don't want you. Go away.
Okay.
Yes. Like, wow. You defend.
Yeah. Like he's wearing the emerald crown. I see.
Yeah, he's looking at. You got the shirt and everything.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Sword and shield. Hold up. Sword and shield, man. It's shiny right now.
But being serious for a second. Yeah, man. I mean,
hater blockers.
Blockers, man. Blocking
that's the one I see putting a lot of time into. I've still not played Apex, but going back to what you guys were just saying on that, yeah, I mean, I want to see a duos mode for sure. Because guess what, me and Trey, because Trey plays with his cousin all the time. I for sure can see me and Trey playing, duos on Apex. So I look forward to that. Obviously, I haven't played with Pete yet. I mean, to doing the the threes and even the solos and all that. I mean, I know I'm gonna have fun when I play it. I just watching it, I know I'm gonna have fun playing it. It's just obviously I've been trying to play Metro and Anthem and all that. I've just not had time to really sink time into it. But when March 12th gets here for early access, Division 2 is going to be my main game. I can tell you that with 100% confidence right now. I'll continue to play Destiny on and off, but unless something revolutionary happens in the next month, which I don't think is going to happen, I see me not taking a break from it, but just jumping in with, like, when I play my clan, we do a raid or something like that. But I'm not going to be hardcore playing Destiny 2 in the next couple of months. Because again, look, Division 2 is coming out. I want to give Anthem the full fair shake, in the final game and see how I like that. Obviously I've been playing Metro right now. There's something else coming out. Isn't there something else about to come out? Or am I tripping? Is that it? I feel like there's another game coming. Maybe I'm crazy. I might be crazy. Whatever. But I feel like there's something in March coming. And I'm not thinking of what it is. I may be losing my mind. But yeah, I mean, it's, like we were saying earlier, there's something there for everybody.
Devil May Cry 5 and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the only thing that's coming out.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, thank you. Arctic just nailed it. Battlefield 5.
Firestorm. Firestorm.
Yes. That's what it is. Yeah, I want to check out Firestorm too, man. And it's funny because it's Battlefield 5, but I almost see Firestorm as its own game. I'm excited and nervous for it at the same time because EA's not talking about it. And here we are at the middle of March or middle of February, and we've still not really heard anything about it. I hope that mode is what I think it's going to be. It's not going to be Apex. Apex is more Fortnite than it is realistic shooter. Or correct me if I'm wrong. It's just the way it looks on the screen to me. But I want to see what a more Battlefield style realistic shooter looks like in the BR. So I'm very curious for Firestorm. I want to see how that's going to play out. But again, this goes to my point. There's so many freaking games out right now that people can play and people can enjoy. We all don't have to like the same thing. Yeah, who cares? Play what the frick you want. That's the way I look at it.
I have a question about that, though, Paris.
Yeah.
About Battlefield. Is it, I don't know, man. Is it, I don't know why EA is going to release 2 Battle Royales at the same.
Well, this is what I said a couple weeks ago. When Apex came out, I go, wow. And then you got Firestorm coming like a month later. What are they doing? Dude, we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the plan is on it.
You think they should release this as a free game? Also,
I don't think
so people have an option. You can download that or go with Apex.
I think people that bought Battlefield 5 already would be upset if they did. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do because now you're saying well, part of the reason I bought Battlefield 5 was for that BR mode. Now you're just giving it away. I never would have bought Battlefield 5. People would be upset by that. I think. And again, if it's doing something radically different than what Apex is doing, if what PUBG is doing, if what Fortnite is doing, maybe it's worth being. Again, Blackout is a part of Call of Duty. You got to buy Call of Duty to play Blackout. So I'm okay with that, you know. But again, we'll see what it comes down to, you know, when it actually drops. I don't know. I'm just excited for the next few weeks because, like I said, I already know I'm just gonna go all in on Division 2. I already know it, 100%. That for what we got to play, what we played so far of that game through the preview events and even the private beta, like that Dark Zone stuff, I'm all over it, all freaking over it, you know. And I know, you know, when we talk about this on the daily conversations, I know like Marco Style, who's basically the biggest face of the Division community, isn't very high on the game right now. And he's laid out why. And I understand what he's saying and I respect what he's saying. But I also think it's not fair, kind of like we were talking before. He's judging the beta as the final game. There'll be some tweaks and changes, but he's right. They're not going to fix everything by launch. I completely understand that. But I also think Marco, and again, I shouldn't be speaking for him, but I'm going to do it anyways. I think they're not making the game that he wants, and that's part of it. Whereas I do look at some of the changes they made with the Dark Zone, and I like them, right? For me. Whereas he's been playing it for 3 years straight. He's used to the way it is, and it's not doing that anymore. They're trying to make it more accessible trying to make it more accessible to a casual audience and more forgiving. Whereas, look, we've still not seen the optimized Dark Zone. I think Marco is going to be in the optimized Dark Zone every.
Oh no, he's definitely going to be. That's definitely where he's going to make his bread and butter off of that.
And
not the normalized one for this for the randoms and the casuals.
Right. So that's kind of my point. It's like I almost wish he would have tempered. And look, I shouldn't say he should temper. He say whatever the hell he wants to say because I say whatever the hell I say. Right. So actually, I'm gonna be quiet on that. I'm just saying I don't necessarily agree with him coming out with those statements right now, and it's not the final game, and we've not seen all the modes just yet, right? Whereas, let's see what the optimized Dark Zone looks like, and I agree with him on PvP. Let's make that crystal clear. I've been saying that since we went to Red Storm. I'm like, I don't know about this PvP. Not necessarily a fan of that. I'm more interested in PvE stuff, the in-game stuff, and then obviously what they're going to do with the Dark Zone. That's where I'm going to be when I'm playing a game. I'm not going to be in that PvP stuff, but you know, I think the game's going to be phenomenal. I just do. And like I said, call me biased or not, because we have a relationship with Ubisoft. I don't care. I think this game has me as excited as I was when the original Destiny was coming out. That's where I am on it, and that's just the truth. But that's me. And I'm not saying everyone has to feel that way.
It's hard to this is why I like about our podcast, and sometimes people take it way too personal about like our opinions. If we like a game or we don't like a game, we just having a conversation, right? If you guys like something, that's cool. If you guys don't like something, that's fine. But I feel like sometimes people take things so personal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
they do.
Will say crazy things to us, not only through social media but also through email, saying all this stuff. Like I remember the early days of the release of Xbox One. You know, I've always liked the system. There was things that you guys didn't agree with, right? And you posted your opinion not only through social media but also on the podcast. People will hit us up saying, that's it, I'm not listening to the podcast anymore because you guys are saying all these bad things about Xbox. Like, I get it, man. People are going to be fans of Xbox or whatever, but don't take it personal, man. Like, look, earlier I talked about Crackdown. That's my opinion. I'm not going to change my opinion because the things that Paris said, but I understand where you're coming, where you're coming from too, Paris. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking it personal. Look, when I get hype and I get excited about when we start debating, it's because it's that passion that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Sunset Overdrive. Paris and Pete hates the game. They don't even care about the game. But I love the game. Still to this day, I will defend it. I think that people should just chill. We're just having a conversation. We're having fun, man. And don't take things personal, man. You know? That's all. I just have to say that because it's getting ridiculous, man, with people getting mad if you like something, and I don't know. I just find the whole
No,
thing
it's like you said. That's the social media culture. That's the internet culture we're in right now. Everything's a flipping outrage. Everything's over the top. I mean, hell, look who our freaking president is. I mean, it's like, it's just it is what it is. Everyone has to have their opinion. Everyone has to have their voice heard. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing because look, I obviously rant and rave all the freaking time. But sometimes it's like, just like I said, just relax. Let's see what a game's going to be at the end of the day. You can look at a preview of something and start to form an opinion, but to have the finality on something and the damn game ain't even out yet, to me, that's ridiculous. You can't have finality because you don't know what the final game's going to be. And one thing I don't like that Marco said, since I've been putting his name out there, I don't like that he gave Massive until March 28th to fix all the bugs, or he was going to say, "I told you so." Come on, we know that's not realistic. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen
that way, man. Development doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
at all, man. Come on.
So, and this is the other thing to remember. And we talk about this all the time. These developers are people just like us. They do this because they love doing it, but it's also how they feed their families as well. And there is not a developer on this planet that goes into a project and goes, "I'm gonna make the most shitty game I possibly can." No one says that. Everyone goes in saying, "I'm gonna try and make the best game I possibly can for everyone to enjoy." So as much trash as I just talked about Crackdown 3, there is not a developer that worked on Crackdown 3 that purposely went in and said, "You know what? I'm going to just make a half-ass game that's like the Xbox 360. No one went in saying that. They were like, "We're going to try and make this amazing experience that's going to blow people's minds." And they simply weren't able to do it. That's all. Same with Anthem, Division, everything.
Yep.
You know what? One thing I learned throughout the years, I think that a lot of developers are stuck in this bubble that to them, when they work on a game, they like, "Yo, this is the greatest thing ever, right?"
Oh,
so
yeah.
when they invite the community to their studio to show a game and they hear all this feedback, you're like, "Oh man, really? Damn, I thought it was gonna be good." And they start taking notes. It happens all the time. Like when I went to DICE, right? I went to DICE because EA wanted our feedback about Battlefront, and we told them, "Yo, what's the story? What's this? What's that?" And yo, you got to see the developers' face. They were like, "Oh my god, this is not good," but they were just taking notes. taking notes. And that's the thing that people have to understand, man. Like when you're stuck in that bubble, to you think, "Oh my god, this is the amazing project I ever worked on, man." But when you get feedback from other people, then you see how it is, and you're like, "Oh damn."
Yeah, that was January 2016 when Paris, as the creative director for the first The Division, was the end game. And you're talking about Pink Gun.
Yeah. It happens all the time, man. So by him, Paris was saying Marco, that's his name, Marco.
Mm-hmm.
For him to say that the game has to be done and all these fixes has to be done by this date, that's freaking ridiculous. Come on, man. Really? In a month, all those things that he's been talking about is gonna get fixed within the certain amount of time? Come on, man. That's not real, man. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen at all. Like you said earlier, Paris, about Anthem, it's gonna take some time. A year from now, if they're committed to this game, there's gonna be a lot of changes, man. You just gotta give them time. Send your feedback. Forget about this whole clickbait. All these YouTubers that just start posting the bad things just so people just look at it. Yo, that's not real feedback. Send your feedback the right way instead of trashing the developers, man. They're people too, man. That's all.
I want to take this question. I want to take this conversation and move it off. Yeah. And I want to, because this is the after show, so we don't really have a format. Paris, did you see the dunk contest last night?
Okay, so here's the thing. I went through 3 stages of emotions in that. I went through stage 1 of, "Lord Jesus, please end this. Stop doing the dunk contest. I hate it." And then homeboy dunked over Shaq and did the Vince Carter elbow, and I go, "Oh wait, I spoke too soon." And then by the end with Dennis Smith Jr., I was like,
over Wade.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? stop making this the final thing. Make the 3-point shootout the final thing. Put it at the start of All-Star Weekend. Get it over with. Because I'm old. I'm 45. I remember the 80s when all the stars participated in the dunk contest. I remember Chicago 1988 when Dominique Wilkins beat Michael Jordan, but the judges cheated and gave it to Jordan anyways. And I'm a Michael Jordan fan, but Nick won that damn dunk contest. You can't tell me no different. I remember Larry Nance mid-80s dunking. I remember Spud Webb. I remember Kenny Skywalker winning the dunk contest. I remember when the stars all came out to participate. You know what I'm saying?
With 2 balls.
Yes, and they don't do that. They don't, and not that these are scrub players. These are young players that are trying to make a name for them. Hell, I remember D Brown, because it was funny. He was a judge last night. I remember D Brown had the old Reeboks. He did the pump up thing, and then he did that, and he dunked it, and he won. Yeah. The no look. Cedric Ceballos putting on the freaking the blindfold and dunking. Even though, look, we know he could. And
hey,
that was entertainment.
Jason Richardson, when he did his dunks, fire.
Yeah, and then obviously, dude, Vince Carter. I mean, yes. good googly moogly. But hell, even during the Dwight Howard, Nate Robinson era, the dunk contest was still, it had a dry spell, and then Dwight Howard showed up because he was a star. You saw the stars out there in the dunk contest, and that's what made it fun. Remember, LeBron teased he was going to do it the very next year, and then he bailed on it. That's why the dunk contest isn't good anymore, because it used to be the best dunkers, the biggest NBA stars were participating. And now we're getting all these first, second-year players that are doing it. No one knows who the hell they are. And then let's be honest, dunks look, that was the other part I had, but stop trying to jump over obstacles.
Yeah, like the Blake Griffin jumping over the hood of a Hyundai.
Yeah.
That was bad.
The worst? Yeah. What year was that? I'm trying to remember who was it, man, that they jumped over a car or something?
Blake Griffin.
I just said it. Blake Griffin jumping over the Hyundai.
Yeah, garbage.
Or no, sorry, it was a Kia because they were sponsored by Kia.
But see what I'm saying? Like that's just ridiculous.
No, but see, good ones. That's when I was done. Good ones with props, I would say, would be like, what was oh God, it was just like 2 years ago. It was like probably one of the best dunk contests in recent memory. Zach LaVine versus what's his name, Aaron whatever.
Yeah, I know you're talking. Yeah.
That one. Those are fantastic. Those were great. But now, Paris, I'm gonna send you a link, and if you haven't already seen it, let me know. Then the Bleacher Report, this guy did a revisit of all of the top dunks that ever got a 50, and he goes through the beginning all the way from Larry Nance, then he goes through the Dominique with the windmills and all of the other ones, and how some of those, if you were to re-rank them in 2019, they almost feel or seem pedestrian. There are some like the Dominique ones where, because he was the originator, he was the king of like the windmill dunk, that it still holds today. But it's a really good it's a really good article too. So he includes links so you could check them all out. Go back. I'm sorry, but that first Vince Carter where he does the between the legs dunk and he just hangs on there like Diallo did last night, though, that one is still, for me personally, that one still floors me every time I watch it, because he punched it down so hard with so much force. It was great.
No, I agreed. And like you're saying with that article, that's the thing. Actually go back and watch them from then. We have 30 years of tape on this stuff at this point now, right? So a lot of stuff, it's repetitive. So now we're getting all the gimmicks. I'm jumping over a freaking airplane. Like, I keep waiting for someone to kill himself. I was like, someone's going to tear their ACL. I'm serious. Someone's going to, because remember, he clipped the plane. He clipped the back of it going out. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's going to fall and tear up his knee. That's all I was worried about the whole time. See, I'm getting older. All I think about is injuries. That's all I can see.
Paris is washed. That's it. He's done.
You know what? I know we're talking about this, but I have to go back to a video game thing real quick, because we didn't talk about this in the podcast. We didn't talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
I can't, with a straight face right now, recommend the Ultimate Edition. I can't recommend anything other than the standard edition of Division 2 to anybody. I think if you spend more than $60 on that game at launch, you're wasting your money. Unless you show me something that I have not seen yet, there's nothing about those other editions other than 3 days early access that make it worth it. Nothing.
It doesn't make no sense. 0 sense.
No, at all. All the DLC is free year one.
Yeah.
All the cosmetic items you can earn them in the game. The stash space you can earn it in the game. So why are you spending $100 freaking on this ultimate edition in the game? It makes no sense to me.
Does it come like a statue or anything cool or no? Could I have?
I know. There's like a Dark Zone edition like that, but dude, really? I'm not spending my money on it. Sorry,
I stopped buying
yeah.
special editions long time ago. I think the last one was it Halo 2? I'm trying to remember what was my last one. I think I got something else after that. I just can't remember right now on top of that. But that to me was like, oh man, I'm gonna buy it, special case. I was gonna have a documentary in there. Pretty cool. That was the last time.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not seeing any incentive for me to say, "Yep, I'm gonna go get it." Why would you?
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to do.
What was your last one?
My last one? Ooh, I stopped a long time ago. I can't even. Man, I don't even know.
Was it the helmet?
Yeah, I mean, I had the Halo 3, the cat helmet. I can't. I'm sure I've bought something since then, but I don't know. It's been a long time.
Pete, what was your last one, Pete?
Collector's edition?
Yeah, collector's edition. I don't remember mine's. I think it was the 360 days. It wasn't Halo 2. I just try to remember. It's pretty tough to remember.
GTA 4.
GTA 4.
Mm-hmm.
What it came with?
It came with a lockbox. It came with a Rockstar duffel bag, and a bunch of stickers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Wait,
that was the last one.
Was it the Fallout 76 that people bought like a collector edition?
Oh, my son bought that. My son bought it. He got the helmet. He still has it. Like you could put it on. It changes your voice. The bag was fake.
Super cheap.
The bag was a crappy. It was supposed to be a canvas bag. It ended up being like some poly, like some like crappy fabric. They came back. My son finally got his 500 points that he can use in game like 2 weeks ago. But the bag still won't show up for like another 9 to 10 months.
See, here's the problem that I have about that collectors, right? Your son bought it, got a cheap bag, right? But there were
hold on. The helmet that he got is super fire though, because it's the actual helmet from the robots in Fallout 4. You could put it on, it changes your voice and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's not just the bag. So don't discount it saying it's just about the bag.
No. But I'm bringing something up because I remember reading this online. People that bought that collector's edition, excuse me, when they received it, they were taking pictures like, really? This bag is it's like a piece of plastic. Like it's not. But there were influencers that Bethesda was sending them the actual stuff that they were promoting. They sent them the bag. And that's how the whole conversation came up. Like, wow, this is messed up. You guys promoted this, and then we get this, but then you're sending the actual bag that you promoted to influencers, to YouTubers and streamers. I think that's like straight up. It reminds me of like the whole Fire Festival promotion. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool.
I wouldn't go so far as to compare it to the Fire Festival. That's
promoting something that's not true. That's what I'm trying to say. Not that the festival overall and the game overall. I'm just saying, don't promote something, and when you buy it and you get it, you were like, wait a minute, this is not the actual collector's. Like, that's not cool. People complain about that, Pete. It was all over the web.
I know. I'm not saying that they didn't complain about it. I just think the comparison to the Fire Festival, I think that's reaching a little bit. Personally.
Well, somebody lied, marketing wise. That's all. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I got the gym calling me.
Oh, the gym calling Pete. It's calling Pete. Oh, by the way, Paris, I know we're here. Have you sent the SD card?
Nope.
I'm I'm leaving. I'm leaving soon. I need it. I'm leaving soon.
Nope. It is literally right here. My bad. I will drop it in the mail. See, I got it right here. Right
Okay,
here.
I had to remind Paris.
Yeah. As soon as you said it, I looked, I was like, oh, nope, I sure didn't.
Snap.
No, I'll send it. Yeah, I'll drop it in the mail. Obviously, it's a holiday tomorrow, so it'll probably go out
like
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm trying to think. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Oh, speaking of the Fry Festival, I got to watch the Hulu version. I haven't watched that one yet. I gotta go watch that.
I really like that one. I mean, it felt production is not as good as the Netflix one, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Yep.
I know.
All right.
That's about it. All right. Well, this was a long stream. We have fun talking about all these games and especially Crackdown 3. People are going to be talking about
Paris, check the chat real quick.
Yeah. Oh, Pete, by the way, man, any shout outs to people that
no, I did not get a UPS alert.
Okay. Interesting.
Pete, shout outs to anybody that donations and all that?
Yes.
Or subscribe?
Yep. Give me 1 second.
I have one more thing.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. I got my E3 2019 media badge, even though I probably won't even set foot on the show floor this year.
That's good.
Well, you didn't get it yet?
Not yet. Well, they emailed me saying that one of the files that I uploaded, they never received it. It was like corrupted, so I had to like resend it through the email. So hopefully I'll get it soon. That's all.
Yeah, I haven't gotten mine yet either, so we'll see what happens.
Hey man, I'm enjoying this. It might be the last E3. I mean, I don't know. I see it like that every year. That's how I always try to go.
I mean, I look at it this way. Like I already said, chat. You know, I have my real job. I have an audit that week, so I'll probably go Sunday, like we always do. Go to the Microsoft press conference, whatever happens on Sunday, and then I would imagine the last day Thursday, because our audit will be over Wednesday. I'll probably come Thursday, the last day. And that would actually be kind of fitting if the last day of potentially the last E3, I get to walk the show floor.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
People probably wondering why the last E3, because supposedly this is the last year in LA. So if they don't sign the contract again, like, okay, let's stay here. It might go to another city, or it might just end. Who knows? Or it might change. It might be different. It might not be the same. So
I think it's going to change. If it sticks around, it's going to be something completely different than what it currently is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's all. By the way, shout to, I know there was somebody that bought stuff through the store.
Yeah, somebody purchased a "Let Me Dream" T-shirt a couple of days ago.
Yeah, right here, "Let Me Dream" T-shirt.
No, not you though. Somebody else bought it. Let me see.
Yeah.
So shout out to, this goes back to late last night. Paris with the Prime resub 18 months. David Too Sly with the 20-month tier 1 sub. Andy subbed with the tier 1 as well. And then just before the show, Cypher Tanya, one of our mods, 18-month tier 1 sub. Woot, 18 months. Mr. Rudely subscribed with a tier 1 as well. Thank you, everyone. Adachi Paris. Let's just take your money.
And now, didn't somebody donate to?
Yes, I don't know because the alert doesn't show it. Somebody sent it separately, but someone dropped a $50 dono bono on the show as well. So thank you to you.
Yeah.
Wait,
cool.
what?
I don't know who that was.
FYI, on Xbox, the entire Cowboy Bebop series is on sale right now for $10.
Wow.
It's worth it.
There's a reason why it's $10?
I don't know. I'm just looking at
like a
Twitter.
special
Someone's saying it on Twitter right now. I don't know. It's a freaking GOAT. That's all I know. If you haven't watched it, it's worth it.
That's
Or
cool.
you could join my Plex and get it for free.
Oh my God, Dan Hevia with the video for Paris. Perfect.
Oh, you're talking about on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw that last night actually. which again, dude, someone's gonna snap their ACL, dude. No, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off here.
Same.
Go eat some breakfast, do all that good stuff. Go to the gym myself.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, for those that want to know, GTR turning 14, the 25th of this month. That's next week. Just
Is
wanna
that
say
next?
that.
That's
Yeah, that's Monday.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, time is flying by. So wow. So yeah, you'll
Monday.
be in DC next week.
Yep.
Yep, that's why we're gonna celebrate. Let's drink
Good
some.
Lord,
some
man,
good
time is
stuff
flying.
Yeah,
over
I
there.
don't know about I don't know of anything in Washington DC, but I'll send you some recommendations for stuff in Arizona for sure.
Okay, yeah, I've never been there, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. One of the
All
few
right,
places
I'm out.
one of the few places that has a Rudy's barbecue and an In-N-Out. So enjoy.
Ooh.
Don't go to In-N-Out. It sucks. I'm out. Bye.
Now, is it true that they have the worst French fries though?
That's subjective. That's up to you. That's subjective. You can't.
Because there's been reviews and comparing to like other French fries from like other fast food places, and let's say in California.
That's
and LA.
subjective. You can't do
Okay.
that conversation, and that's subjective.
Hey, I'm just asking, man. Relax.
That's subjective. Anyways,
just asking, man.
okay. You're bored.
Yeah.
You're just trying to keep the conversation going. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, peace. I'm out. Later.
Bye,
Later,
everyone.
Peace.